One of the biggest improvements in college football 27 isn't necessarily a headline feature, it's the details. Player likeness, equipment, and overall immersion got huge upgrades this year, and we finally got a bunch of stuff we've been asking for. This video is presented by the EA Creator Network, and I was on a work in progress build. If you want to play a week early, check out the MVP Plus membership. I know my gearheads have been waiting for this one, but let's start with the player likeness first. You'll notice more attention to detail with some of the bigger name players this year, as they're actually doing some face sculpting on a few of the bigger names, so not quite a face scan, but putting a little bit more effort into some of the big name guys, as they should. As you can see, last year versus this year, some of these guys look a little bit more accurate. You'll also notice a lot of work was done with the helmet fit and sizing, which we'll touch on more later in the video, but that's a part of likeness too. Your equipment, the way your helmet fits. You'll notice with Malachi Tony here, a much more accurate face and some gear updates. All of that stuff plays into your likeness because you want these players to look exactly how they do on field. As you can see here with Lacey, got some gear updates, but also a much more accurate face as they put a little bit of extra work into some of those guys. And you'll also just notice some other things like the pad sizing is much more accurate this year. They brought them down a bit. The cleats fit a lot better as well, which is another big one. We'll touch on all of these more in depth later in the video. Here we've got Trinidad from Ole Miss. You can see not a huge update with him, but some slight changes. Here we got Ryan Williams, cover star last year. You can see got the number change, some gear updates, some slight face updates as well. Just looks a little bit more realistic this year, which is what we want to see. And again, with the helmet fit, last year they sat low, they weren't tilted. This year, they're looking a lot more accurate. Got a nice update here for Notre Dame corner Leonard Moore. As you can see, he looks more accurate to his current day look. Another big one was Marcel Reed from Texas A&M. You can see again some gear updates here, which we'll touch on later, but the face a lot more accurate this year. And of course, another cover athlete, Colin Simmons, looking a lot better this year as well. Now with Dante Moore, they haven't completely finished on his face yet. It does look different than last year, but it's not the final product yet, so I didn't want to show it. But look at the hair, the attention to detail on the updated hair. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. Now, the first thing we have to start with, of course, is the fit of the helmets. This was an area that needed a lot of work, and they've made some really good improvements here with helmet tilt, helmet sizing, and the height at which the helmets sit. Now, of course, every helmet's going to look a little bit different. There was the Speed Flex. Now we're going to look at the Axiom helmet. You'll notice if you compare to the previous iterations of college football that the helmets fit much, much better this year. They sit higher up, they tilt forward, and it looks more like what you see real players do in real life. Obviously, every player has custom fits in real life, and players wear their helmets differently, so you're not going to always get the perfect fit across the board in a video game, but we've seen much improvements in this area, and now most of the helmets are going to look more lifelike and look accurate on the players, and I think that is a huge step forward for the visuals of the game. And another really big upgrade, in my opinion, is the pad sizing. You'll notice now that the small fit shoulder pads have been reduced, so they're not nearly as bulky as they were in the previous iterations of the game. And this was another area that needed some improvement because in real life, a lot of these skill position players do not wear big shoulder pads. Of course, this is another thing where everybody kind of wears it differently, but we needed a smaller version, and it just helps the players look more realistic. It helps their bodies overall look better in the game as well. Another cool addition are the new clear reflective visors. You have the regular version and the Oakley version. This is kind of more of the mirrored look that you see a lot of players in real life wear now, so it's really good that we finally have this option to equip in the game. I'm really excited about this one. We finally got the highly requested hanging mouthpieces in multiple colors, just like you see on Saturdays. They can't be attached in the player's mouth yet, but that option should be coming soon. And they even feature physics, meaning they actually move naturally as the players run around on the field. And of course, we have to talk about the addition of single leg sleeves, which has probably been the most requested piece of equipment since the series returned. This was a much needed addition considering how many players wear them in real life, and it's another big step forward, making players look more authentic on the field. And here's a hidden detail that most people don't know about the leg sleeve colors. When you're at the uniform selection screen before you go into a game, if teams have different color leg sleeve or base layer options, you can actually go down to the socks, and when you change the sock color, it will change the leg sleeve color as well if the team actually wears those colors in real life. Next up is the new roll jersey. We've got a lower version of the crop jersey look, which now shows the entire player number on the front. This is much, much better than the overly exaggerated rolled up jersey from last year. That version still exists if you like that look, but now we have a secondary option here, which is more in line with what players wear in real life. And I think when you combine the better crop jersey, the helmet fit, and the smaller pads, it makes the silhouettes of the players look a ton better this year. Now, another cool feature with these crop jerseys is you can change the color of the the compression undershirt with this style. You can't do it with the regular jersey style, however, but hopefully they add that soon. So right here, for example, if we want to make the undershirt black, we can then go into the sleeve options and we can change the new quarter sleeve so that we have a matching look. Now, if you want to get this type of a look, which is also new, the shooter sleeve and compression shirt with the gap between both of them, this is what you have to do. You got to go to the undershirt and you want to use one of the compression shirts. You've got team colors and you've also got black and white. So what you want to do is equip that compression shirt. Also notice the neckline on the compression shirt is a bit higher. Not quite a turtleneck look. I think we're going to get those soon, but it gives you a similar style there. Then what you do is you go into the arms and you want to choose the regular shooter sleeve. So of course you could use team colors, white, black, whatever you want to do. If you want a matching look, use the same color as the compression shirt, or if you want a different look, you can make the sleeves a different color. So the regular shooter sleeve is going to have a gap, whereas all the other sleeves, like the padded sleeves and some of the other compression sleeves, they're going to have more of the overlap look over the sleeve. So you kind of have your choice of either version, which I think is a really nice touch. Another popular look you can now do is the turf tape with the quarter sleeve as well. So to achieve this look, it's kind of similar. You want to go into the compression undershirts, you can change them to whichever different color you want, and then when you go to the left and right arm, you can equip the turf tape. This is a really good look that we've been wanting in the game for a while, and it's finally here this year. Another small change that they kind of snuck in there was the hoodie. Now, I know a lot of people don't wear this, but I like that they actually made the hoodie look a little bit better. It's not nearly as bulky and baggy as it looked in the previous iterations of the game. You can see this one looks a lot more tailored to the body, so I think with this new look, maybe more people will rock it, but I guess we'll have to see. We also got the new updated QB wrist coaches that were in Madden last year. You can have them in all different colors. You can wear them open or closed, which look really good. And we also finally got the new wrist braces in college football. We saw these in Madden at the end of last year, but now they're in college as well. Another cool thing they did this year where they changed the backplate logo, so every team doesn't have just their same generic logo on the backplate. Some teams wear different things on their backplates, like you could see the Jordan teams wear the Jordan backplates, and you'll notice that some schools have their primary logo on the backplate. Some of them have a more secondary logo. Some of them have like the script logo, as you could see with some of the teams. Then some teams just have their letters. So it's kind of nice that they added this touch where every team's backplate is more unique to what they do in real life. And I like that attention to detail. Hey, if you're an equipment head just like me and you're enjoying this content, please go ahead and subscribe. It really helps the channel out a ton. And I've got some more exclusive videos coming over the next 2 days. Another nice addition is the ability to wear the play call on your waist. Some QBs wear it this way. Some of the defensive players like to wear this as well. So you have team colors, black and white. This is also a nice look that we see some players rock on Saturday. Taking a look at Cam Coleman here on Texas, just an overall look here, looking at the helmet, the mouthpiece, the compression shirt with the high neckline. But let's turn them around and look at the towels. Yes, we now have logos on the towels. That was another thing that was highly requested. So just going to pan through some teams here so you could see kind of how the towels are looking with the logos. I would like to see them do this for some more equipment, maybe the hand warmers or wrist braces. I think hopefully in the future we can get some of that, but nice to see it come to the towels, at least for now. It just makes them look a little bit better in my opinion. Now we also did get some new cleats. I was able to find a lot of Adidas stuff. We have the Adizero Electric 3. I know there's some more new cleats that are going to be on the way at some point, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But Adidas definitely got some upgrades here. We also got the Adizero Impact Plus 2. So a lot of Adidas schools in the game, they'll definitely have some new stuff to mess around with. One of my favorites coming in a minute, just wait. We also have the Adizero Impact 2 as well. You could see some pretty nice cleats here for the Adidas guys. And then we're going to go over to the Chaos 2, another new addition to the game. So, you know, Adidas has kind of really been making their name heard a lot more in the cleats department these last few years. But my favorite one is the Anthony Edwards 1. One of the better basketball shoes over the past few years. And there also is a cleat version of that. I'm so glad they were able to get this in the game. I love this cleat. Also, I want you to note the fitment of the cleats. If you noticed in the past couple of years, some of the cleats fit a little bulky, to say the least, a little weird. If you remember how they looked last year, they did not look quite like this. So just kind of scrolling through some of the cleats here, you'll notice a lot of them do fit a lot better this year. Another nice sneaky addition they put into the game are the practice jerseys for teams being different than what they wear in a real game. We saw this change come to Madden a couple years ago, and now they have brought it over to college, which I like. So you'll notice when you go into practice mode now, they will wear their kind of dedicated practice uniforms, usually with the QB also wearing a different colored jersey. Obviously, different teams do different things with their practice jerseys, but I think this is really cool, especially if you're a dynasty player. When you're bringing your team into practice, you want it to feel a little bit different than what a game would feel like. So them wearing the different styles of uniform, I think, kind of adds to this, and I just think it's a nice little touch. This is the biggest equipment jump we've seen out of EA from one year to the next, and there's some other really good stuff coming soon in updates that I can't quite tell you guys about just yet. But it's not just about how they look in the edit screen, it's about how they look and play on the field. And if you want to see this in action, check out my early gameplay video right here on the screen.